Come on.
All right. Let's talk about that shit show of a debate. First off, your like general opinion. Who do you think won the debate?
America lost the debate.
For sure. For sure.
America lost.
Hey.
There was no winner. I mean, Biden won the debate, and this is what Biden won the debate because Trump has told everyone Biden is so old he can't think.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel like
he's told everyone that it's so bad that when Biden was just old and just like didn't fall asleep, they were like, "Oh, he's not as bad as Trump said."
you know, Trump is a like master of marketing. The guy knows how to market himself.
I guess.
I mean, that's like
He does something.
I mean, that's all he does.
Yeah.
Like, he just markets himself in a way to get whatever he needs. And I think that this is a good example of, like, he, like, overdid it. He did so well where he's like, this guy's a zombie. This guy can barely talk. This guy can barely put it together. This guy's
Which
just
are all awesome burns.
They are.
But the guy has to act like that when he's on camera.
But then Biden's debate turns into, like, just spell your name correctly and, like, you pass.
Biden rips his name and everyone's just, he's okay.
He's not a zombie.
Actually.
I think
No,
that...
but Trump has really put the bar that low. And, okay, you watched the debate. So let me, before I respond, because I didn't watch the whole debate.
Okay.
Now, I saw enough to know what happened. Like, I've seen a total of like 20 some minutes of the debate, but it's cut up. But that's fine. So I have some idea. You saw the whole thing or saw plenty of it. There's no way I could have done that.
Yeah.
And tell me.
I don't think anybody won. I think that if you're all Biden, then like you thought Trump was loud and obnoxious and like a bully. I think with like in 2016, it was kind of funny. Some of the stuff he did, it was outrageous. It was like we've never seen anything like it. Like he's like
I do honestly. I think some people forgot how bad it was though in 2016 because like he was worse then. He like followed Hillary. Do you remember that? Like he's also gigantic. He's like fat as shit. So he's like 270 tall, and he's like trying to follow her around, but people let it ride because they really hated Hillary, and like his slogan was like what crooked Hillary. So like it just makes her and what's Biden? Creepy
Sleepy
Biden,
Joe.
Sleepy Joe. So that's like a very harmless nickname.
I think what
feeds to it.
I think what happens.
Joe.
I think what happens here is that
it's Creepy Joe too. He's definitely
he's had it before, but it's
but
been
all
Sleepy
old
Joe.
men are creepy, so that's not that bad.
I think in 2016 with Hillary, he had it like right. He had it good. He knew what to say. He knew how to say it, and a lot of people
He had her
didn't-
number. He had her
and
number.
a lot of people didn't like Hillary Clinton, and then a lot of people don't like the Clintons in general. That's right from the Republican Party, and even the Democratic Party. So I think it was kind of easier to like say and do it. Like he had like the template already, and I think with Joe Biden, it's not the same. This is Uncle Joe. This is like Obama's guy. So it's like there isn't that same like visceral hate for Biden.
You're right. You're right. There's definitely not a visceral hate, and also the way he came at Biden was super petty and annoying.
Yeah, and
he's just like, "Hey, I'm gonna just talk in this mic the whole time while you just say
nonstop.
anything." Just I was like,
I think so. I think in this case, Biden.
I was so embarrassed, Roy. I was so embarrassed.
You didn't even watch it,
dude. But what I do is like I watch American news and I watch both sides, so I don't get put in the bubble. But I watch a lot of international news about America to see
BBC,
what the world. No, I look at like Australia's news. I watch Indian news. I have some European. Dude, it's such a shit show. Like everyone's just like sees the downfall of Rome. That's what basically everyone's just calling it. You know, like I mean, but we got children on stage. How many politicians just want to fight Donald Trump? Like he can be so annoying. They'd rather just fight him, and they just barely hold it together.
I feel the whole time I feel like Biden just wanted to punch him.
But he just wants to fight him, right? I would respect him so much more if they just fought him. But he would lose. Trump would fall on him. And then Biden break his hips.
It's so crazy because like the debate for president,
And
this should be like this like honorable kind of prestigious thing. Like you're gonna
It
say
should
some,
be. It really should be.
You're gonna say some stuff to each other. You're gonna try to like say your case and this is why I'm good and this person's bad. But I think in this case, like they had to like over and over again with Trump, like basically tell him to like,
dude, shut up.
Like, okay, these are the rules. We talked about the rules. You know the rules. Like, don't you know what a debate is? Like, okay, you can't talk. It's your 2 minutes.
And the problem is there's no penalties. If I break the rules in football, we move the line back. If he breaks the rules in this, nothing happens. It needs to be like, hey, if you interrupt me, you will lose 2 minutes of your next turn. He's going to talk for 4 minutes. Your mic will be off. You know what happens? He shuts up. He shuts up real quick.
The thing that they went with was being able to mute people.
They had to do that last time. I don't know why they thought he would be quiet now. Obama had his phone taken away and couldn't be on Twitter. Unlike this dude tells me about policy through Twitter. Like they're not going to be able to shut him up.
Some of the I guess main talking points. There wasn't really any, to be honest, talking points. It was just like they would ask a question, and then Trump would just ramble about something. I mean, he would argue with the with Wallace. I believe his name was the moderator.
The moderator.
So like if you're
and like for a Fox News guy, people can like say like. Because Fox News is labeled as entertainment, like through business, like because they can't even hold a news thing. But like he is a real journalist. Have you ever seen? Mm-hmm, well, he is a killer of a journalist. So he's a great person to have in the debate. And man, he just got run over.
But what can you do?
You could try.
I thought he was trying.
When you talk to someone who's just like not looking at you, not listening to you, talking louder to you, and you're like, Mr. President. Mr. President, can you let him finish? Hey, someone's got to take control of the situation.
What would you do?
I would stop the conversation. Like, they are both still talking, and you're trying to address him. Like, no one's listening to you.
Yeah.
Like,
I see what you're saying.
He's literally the substitute teacher. He's the substitute teacher, and they are going buck wild in class.
They lost control. With Biden, I think... he didn't really say anything. He didn't really have any real big policy moments. The whole time was him just trying to talk his point, just trying to get his part in with Trump interrupting. So I think with Biden, if you were already voting Biden, he didn't do anything that made you want to not vote Biden.
Trump did something that could pull you off of voting for him.
Well, I think if you
think that there is more undecided voters than people would believe. I believe there's a lot more because Trump is in power right now. So just what people are saying is not out there. So, I mean, he didn't. I listened to that part carefully, and he did not denounce the white supremacist.
Dude, that was so bad.
Okay, but what's worse is he was like, okay, what do you want me to denounce? Just tell me what you want me to denounce. He was like, say the name. Oh, who should I call him? Okay, well, I'm say this. He was like, okay, I'm not gonna denounce that. I mean, we're not gonna do that. I was like, so I hope that there is a group of voters, for at least that's a line, that's a line. But it was weird how he did it, and I can't trust what he said. Then people defend him, and they're like, well, how many times does he have to say it? Hey, if I'm on the stand and they said I raped somebody, I'm gonna tell you every time. No.
Yeah, every time.
No, I didn't do it.
Every time they bring up white supremacy, it's a no. It's not like
you just answer it every time. It's super easy.
It's a softball.
It's the
super softball. All you gotta say is no.
They're so afraid to both sides so afraid to lose their radical side. They were so bad. From what I saw, both Creepy Joe didn't jump on any of the stuff that he could have jumped on. On the white privilege, on the white supremacist thing. Why didn't he say anything? Also, why are you gonna bring up Antifa? Why are you gonna try to defend your own side? You don't attack as a mistake. Just lets it go.
In fact, the only thing that he really said and that everybody took is one, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Oh yeah.
And then also the Green New Deal. I'm not about that. That's not my thing. So it's like, okay, that's the...
You just lost the left.
Yeah.
Like, you just lost the left.
So...
Hey, quit fighting for the left and the right. Get the middle. It's real big. Someone get the middle, please.
Which is where I think I stand, where there's a left that's like, you're already voting Biden. There's a right, like, nothing's going to change. You're voting Trump. So really the fight is for, like, that middle undecided or, like, moderate middle voter that who are you going to vote for? And I think in this case, Trump needed to hit a home run and, like, knock it out of the park and, like, sleep Biden.
It's true because everyone expected him to crush him in the debate.
And that didn't happen. And he just came
it
off
wasn't
as an
even
asshole.
close.
And I think because everybody likes Joe, everybody likes Uncle Joe.
Well, I don't know if they like him, but he's not very hateable.
Yeah,
it's harder to
It's
hate
not.
him.
It's not like the right hates Hillary Clinton.
Right. Like Obama black. So there's
Yeah.
like, oh no. And then like Hillary's a girl and a Clinton. So like there's the no. But Obama's an old man.
Well, Biden's an old man.
Biden's an old man. Excuse me. So, but
it kind of just comes off then as like,
'Cause-
here's this guy just bullying this old guy, and this like, why are you being mean to the old guy?
because like if you also think about like the way he bullied the other two, he's trying to send Hillary to jail.
Yes.
He's like, she had a scandal at the time that he's poking. Obama, he kept bringing up his paperwork, and with Joe, he's just like, you're old, you're stupid. Like that's like
Trump had some like crazy moments in the 2016 election, like the grab him by the pussy, and then debate.
Dude, he lost the first debate bad. Grab him by the pussy comes out, and he goes out and plays like Kobe on the stand, dude. He crushed the second debate. I was like, how is this?
Well, because he brings in Clinton's accusers and has them sit
in the first row.
And he's like, okay, I said some crazy shit, but it's nothing as bad as like what he did. Like,
and
just
he has them all right there.
Crazy scenario that it's like, how did you get through this? How did you survive this?
He is Connor and Nate Diaz put together in a debate last year. But right now, he was really bad. Yeah. Last year, because I think that's why people think they should crush him in the debate. But you say something to him, he gives you the Nate Diaz, and doesn't hear what you said, and just says something else.
I think that he had some good instincts in 2016 as far as like how to be a showman. Like obviously he's a piece of shit and I don't believe in anything. And like
but he also saw like he was smart. He saw a weakness in the party.
Yes, for
big
sure.
time. There was a weakness in the party, right?
But I think this time he's been in the system. Like it is his administration. Like it's easier to be like on the outside, like you guys are fucking this up, but now it's like it's been my show.
But it's also like he's been getting dragged through the system too, because I guarantee you, no one goes into there and they're like, "Oh man, it's awesome being president."
Also,
right? He can't do anything he wants to do.
Lives in his like own bubble, right? Doesn't get the same kind of pushback. Everything,
bubble.
Yeah. And
COVID
so
bubble.
I think, I think because of that, he lost because he didn't knock this one out of the park. Right. He didn't crush Biden. He didn't make Biden look.
The funny thing is, if he acted presidential one time, it would crush Biden just because we don't expect it. We're like, and he just goes straight up with Biden, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, see."
Craziest thing since the debate. So then everybody's like, if you're on the Trump side, it's like he fucking crushed it. If you're on Biden's side, it's like Trump's an asshole. Why do we even do this and all this stuff? And then
I saw a statistic that said only 16% of voters could be swayed at this portion. It's a big number, I guess, like if you're fighting for inches, but everyone's mind's made up too.
For sure. I think if you're at this point and you're undecided, then you really don't care about politics.
Did that help though? Like
no.
What did I saw Fox News say? They were like, this debate was yada 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 inside a dumpster fire,
that was,
inside a train wreck.
Jake Tapper.
I was like, you said that on TV?
Yeah, I don't think he pulls anybody over that's undecided. I think if anything, if you're undecided at this point, then you really don't care. So you saw this probably on social media or some clips or whatever, and you're just kind of like, this guy looks like an asshole. Fuck this. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna vote. Or maybe I think there was actually a lot of people that said like, you know what, I'm out. I'm not gonna even vote this time. This is like ridiculous.
Like I saw Biden could have pressed the issue on COVID stuff in the sense of let's say Trump supporters with his COVID response. Let's roll with that. Like that it was okay. Any mistakes result in economic failure. We are losing money. Like even stimulus and stuff, and it's like He didn't say anything of like what's actually hurting the people.
I think some of his better moments were when he was talking about coronavirus, but he didn't even bring anything up. It was just somewhat pointing out, like, look what you did. And then Trump would keep talking and like, oh,
I'm
look what
just
you
so
did.
shocked. I thought these guys are supposed to have good people around them to give them strategy. I mean, you just got to know how to talk a little shit and stay to the point.
Speaking of talking shit, Trump then, in their debate, he makes fun of Biden for wearing a mask.
Oh my God, this is the best. He has the biggest mask.
And talks all this shit about Biden wearing a mask.
He got a big mask though. He got that big mask though. He got that mask.
He's got that Bane mask. It's just like his eyes.
He's got it like this because he's like I'm old, so if you put this little one in here, I'm gonna pass out. So he was like I'm gonna just pass out if it's small. So he's got the big mask, but yes, he was clowning him. He's like he wears the biggest mask.
So Thursday night, Friday morning, Trump goes on Hannity, I think it was, or something on TV, and then it says that it also puts a tweet out that Hope Hicks, who's his like inner circle like aide, test positive for COVID.
Trump dropped a tweet about that too, but his tweet is so hilarious compared to Hannity. Like one is like, oh, this person, he's like, Hope's been working nights and days, and she's so hard, that poor girl, and she just tested pot. I'm like, wait, who's typing right now? I was like, who's typing?
So he then tweets that him and his wife have COVID. Super. And then since then, we've learned like all kinds of different facts. Let's just start with him getting COVID.
Yeah.
So then, time of Hope Hicks, who maybe she's the start of this, maybe she's the super spreader, maybe like she got it from somebody else. At this point, we don't really know.
We don't know.
But they're talking Wednesday night, Thursday. Trump gets exposed, or they go to a rally, and then she's feeling sick.
Snow masks at the rally.
Yeah. She's feeling sick, and then she quarantines a little bit, and then comes out like, okay, I have COVID, and I think the campaign knows, and they don't want to say anything right away.
Right.
And then Trump knows he's been exposed. And at this point, Trump then goes to other events, not wearing mask.
I mean, just to defend him a little bit on this, just a little bit, so Trump is going to get tested the most. He gets tested 3 times a day or whatever. So what happened was he got a test that came negative, but they knew he was exposed. And the tests, actually, if you look at them, are very inaccurate. Like if you...
Also.
So if you take a test and it's 4 days before you show symptoms, but you have COVID, you have a 36% chance of saying you have COVID. You're 2/3 more likely for it to come up wrong. Okay, so that's before. So if we come up to the day of, so this is the day you're showing symptoms, you still have a 1/3 chance of it showing negative as a COVID test. So half of it is that the tests suck, and they're like, okay, he's getting sick. I'm like, well, I mean, he's getting a little sick, but it came negative, and they're like, well, he got exposed, and they're like, I mean, he's got COVID,
and he's also at this point,
and they're like, all right, well, let's test it, and he's like, all right, let me just go out and do this thing. So then it also becomes like political pressure of he's pressing his party right now. He's leaning into the Proud Boys. He's leaning into the right. He's so afraid to lose the guys who are for sure gonna vote for him that he won't say like, hey,
he's not gonna push that button.
Right. So he doesn't wear the mask, I think,
to show some kind of strength.
I'm still strong. I didn't get it, and now they're all gonna get it.
Some of the first signs that symptoms he started showing was like fatigue. He got tired and showing some fatigue.
Hey, I had COVID.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I'm sure.
I'm going to just tell you it's bad.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
So then Friday night, he then says, or Friday morning, he's like, okay, I have COVID. Less than 24 hours, he's in Walter Reed Hospital. Now,
we could say that is just precautionary. Well, I would send any president who got sick, but I don't think that's what happened.
I don't think that's what happened either.
And just from the news that I've heard, I'm pretty sure that's not what's happened.
The news that I've heard, so one, let me clarify with this, or let me say this. Trump administration lies like crazy.
All administrations.
Media like, it's so crazy right now. It's kind of like, who's telling the truth? What's the best source? Where's the most facts? And you're having to do all this extra work to just find out, like, okay, like, what's the real news? And then all this stuff contradicts it. And so it's like, am I being told what's actually happening to the president? Like, is someone actually telling the truth? Or like, White House says one thing, other people say one thing. People within the White House are saying that, like, he started off with a mild fever,
yes,
and then moved to a moderate. But then, like, some people were saying, like, no, it's still mild. Some people were saying it's still moderate. There's word that, like, he was having trouble breathing, and was given oxygen at the White House.
Yeah, so he was given oxygen at the White House before he walked onto Marine One. I mean, the idea behind that is simple. I mean, like, you want to make him do things while he feels good enough to do them. Juice him up before he goes out. And he's 74, bro.
Yeah, so, like,
he's fat as fuck.
74, obese, heart condition.
His favorite meal is Eggos.
Really?
He said his favorite waffles are Eggos, dude.
I love me some Eggos too.
I mean, if your favorite food was waffles and you was a billionaire, wouldn't you say like some straight Belgian waffles?
True. Why do you say
like
Eggos?
You got Eggos?
If you're like, my favorite pizza is that, like, dollar pizza
every day. This guy is super on the deathbed.
Overweight, 74 years old. So that's already like
stress through the roof.
The percentages already go higher every time.
And he's on the super cocaine all the time.
Sure, like amphetamine something.
He's on the. They've known for years he's been on the super Ritalin.
For sure.
Yeah.
So was it Adderall? He takes some like crazy Adderall and something like that.
He's a bit like, so he's just like always up and like jacked up and like making deals.
So there's no way that he's like actually as healthy as he portrays.
Oh no.
So statistically, like all his like him getting COVID, it's like this is gonna be this. Chances are this is gonna be a tough one.
So then this is like you're saying, you don't know what news to look at because it's super obvious. If you look at one side of news and the other, they're exactly the opposite. If you go and check them actually, and honestly, I always just discredit the news if it is so. If like let's just say CNN, but they give me something that's already left leaning, and they're like, this happened. It's like, well, I shouldn't read this because you're already leaning into what's yours. But the right side is exactly the opposite. So the hospital records are dropped though, and both news sources ignored those. So actually, I could tell you what he's taken at the hospital.
As far as I understand, it's like the same treatment everybody else gets. No.
So he is under 4 different treatments right now. He has already taken 4 very specialized treatments already.
Is that just because he's president?
Oh yeah. But that's what you do with the president. Like, sure. Okay, let's say if you hate Trump, if he dies tomorrow, America is in trouble
for sure.
Regardless, the stock market is going to crash. Policy is going to get held up. Like everything is going to be bad, right? And that's with a trash president. Like you just can't lose him. He's in place. So we don't want that to happen. So they'll go in there. So they gave him oxygen to move him there. They hit him with remdesivir, which is the antibiotic drug that the antiviral drug that they made for
Ebola or something.
Ebola, like exactly. Then they hit him with a new one.
They hit him with the antibody or the antigen, whatever.
Yeah, they hit him with and that cocktail they did intravenous and left him on it all night.
Jesus.
Right. So and then today he had another. So America has put some billions of dollars in 4 vaccine companies, and 2 treatment companies. So he's already had 4 of those companies. So there's only 2 treatments. I'm sure he's had both of those already. So there's a senator or a representative who died from COVID from around. Yes, he and most of the older people who show symptoms and have treatments who die. At day 8 is when it goes bad.
Apparently, day 8, day 9, that's when it's like you're gonna know if it's like, am I gonna get through this, or is this gonna go like a turn, or take a turn for the worse?
Exactly. So I would say he's doing bad because everything that they said they gave him, and then I do believe that he's still up and talking and stuff. Just because I've been on the COVID, like everyone's had a fever. It
comes in waves, right?
It comes in waves. You don't pass out. You're miserable. You're awake. You don't pass out. So like he's awake. He's still doing stuff. His brain's still there. But
what does COVID feel like?
Well, like so there are some things that made it worse than I think it would have been. I didn't know it was COVID, right? I thought I had before I went to the doctor, I thought I had the flu, and my fever didn't break. You take Tylenol, you take Motrin, you take whatever, your fever goes away for a little bit. It didn't do that. So for 5 days, my fever didn't break.
What was the highest it got to?
I never really checked.
But
I just knew I was roasting, so there was no need to check. So I'm like, God,
But it was that temperature for multiple days.
I've never went to the hospital, Roy, for being sick. Never. You know.
I mean, yeah, you're.
I didn't go get knee surgery until 7 years after my knee was torn. Right? Like, I won't go. So I actually went because I was like, I remember at day 5 I was like, there's something wrong.
Like, this isn't right.
There is something wrong. I can't believe I can't.
At this point, you're feeling like super achy. Is it like?
Yeah, that's just
like what does that feel like?
I just feel you're just.
Super, are you
it's
like
just like
exhausted?
It's a super flu. See, the thing is, like, when you don't have had something that happens to you, it's like hard to imagine how bad it could be. It's just so much worse than you think for the pressure to not come off. And here's the other thing. So I woke up every morning. I had blood in my lungs. I thought it was from coughing so much because I would have the cough so bad I could be sleeping and a cough would rip me out of my sleep.
Dang.
Like, you just wake up like hurting in the chest from coughing. So I thought it was just from coughing so much my lungs were a little raw, which has happened before from strep or something. But that's not what it was. It was just everything was bloody. Everything was fucked up. And it came as when I got off of it. It just came right back when I got back to doing my normal daily activities. As soon as I pushed myself a little too hard, it just came back. So I was sick
I've
for
heard
a
a bunch
month.
of people that like got COVID and got like better, and then like a
I
flu
got sick
came
again.
on. Yeah,
And then I got sick again.
So I know the way you are with doctors. I know the way you are when you get sick, and I think Trump has a similar mindset that it's like, but with Trump, I think it's I don't want to look weak.
Yeah.
So I think with him, he must. I believe he's sick for sure, and I believe he's not. I believe like he has it for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that for him, how bad does he actually feel for him to be like, okay, I'll go to the hospital and do all my presidents and stuff?
Oh, dude, I think right away, dude. I mean, you an old man. He's the president. He's getting all the stats. They're like, yeah, it only kills old people. And
And he's like, oh, okay, I'm going.
he was like, yeah, they're like, sir, you need to go to the hospital.
So
I think there's got to be some sort of regulations in place for the president to go get medical treatment.
I mean, Walter Reed Center, it's like the doctors. He's got a conference center. He's got an office. He's got his own suite. He's got his own like kitchen, cook area. Like they make the food there for him. So like he has basically like a hotel at the hospital where they're gonna like take care of him.
I mean, he has the best of everything for sure. Okay, so here's the real thing. So what happens? So he's sick like this. Maybe it goes bad. Maybe what really happens? Like how much of the party is gonna get sick? They're all getting sick.
Chris Christie, Kellyanne Conway, like multiple senators.
Mark Meadows was on TV, and they were interviewing, and he was just like depressed. He was like, he didn't say what was gonna happen. He was like, we're gonna have a lot more positive tests before this happens.
Because everybody was just hanging out.
Mitch McConnell, for once today, finally, he was like, all right, senators, we're not gonna come in. Finally,
he's trying to ram the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but everything there's the Supreme Court got to get rammed through. Stimulus has not been passed, and the country is dying, and they're just like arguing about money, like things that don't matter. And I don't think Trump is against the stimulus. Trump wants the stimulus because it's going to help
him look good.
Yeah, but he's just like, man, nothing's happening, and so it's not, so there's a bunch of things that need to happen. But man, all of the old guys got it, dude.
I think it's crazy that a lot of Republicans and a lot of Democrats.
I don't think it's crazy. The one side said don't wear a mask, one side wear a mask. I know who's gonna get it then. No, but it's like a forest fire, killing off the dead leaves and we don't want to see anyone die, but that's what the Rona is. It's like kills off the weak and the old. That's exactly Rona is a population control.
So you asked what do I think happens? I think Trump gets her sick. I think it's really sick. I think that he pulls through.
Yeah.
And he's
he's a warrior now.
And I think he plays it two ways. I think he either says "Oh, it's just a flu, it's no big deal," and just plays it off, or maybe he's like, like does
He's
the
not gonna do that.
The Boris Johnson like I almost died. I'm gonna like use it for his campaign and use it to like play himself off as his hero and like use that to turn like we gotta like whatever.
I bet you before he's fully recovered, he'll say Biden wouldn't have made it through this. I bet you before he's fully recovered, he was like, this would have killed Joe Biden. I guarantee you he says that.
What do you think happens?
Dude, I don't know what happens, but what if he makes it, but Biden got it from the debate also, and then Biden dies?
Tested negative.
I mean, those tests are trash. We know those tests are trash.
So then negative 3 times.
3 times?
He's been tested
and he could still get it, though, because, like, it's spreading, and it's going to spread. I mean, they all work together. So, like, what if he got it, and then he dies?
You know what I find weird?
He dies. Hey, Kamala ain't winning.
They started showing, like, the line of, like, secession. Like, this person and this person. It's like, oh, man. Like, we're at that point where we're talking, like, well, if this person dies and this person
He wears the biggest mask. This is all I can hear. Which was just such a good burn.
I think...
And it looks so bad now.
It's kind of weird. Because I also... Like, I see people online, like, straight up saying, like, I hope he dies.
You can't say that, man.
And
yeah. I get what happens. I would have said that when I was younger. Can't say that.
I fundamentally I think that I don't wish death upon anybody. And this guy
not from COVID too.
And this guy's a piece of shit. But it's like, man, I can't say like I hope you die from COVID because that's just like.
No, I actually hope you pull through from COVID, and I hope you lose the election fair and square.
But I hope he has. But I hope he's like.
Here's the thing. If he dies from COVID, you know what's going to happen? He will become a martyr. A martyr's martyr. You are going to lock down his... Legendary. He went out on the cross, son. COVID's fake and I'll die from it to prove it.
Jesus. He got the hoax.
No. So I don't know. I don't know what happens. It's not a good scenario. I am more interested in what if... because... The thing to me is I just get it. That's why I don't hate Trump too much. I don't hate the president changes. He's gone after a certain
comes up.
It happens, right?
I bet
the president changes. Like 4 years, he could just lose this election if he wins. In 4 years, he's gone for sure. Them senators, them House of Representatives, they don't change, and
same people.
And that's where stuff gets bad. Where a guy's there every day. You can't have a shitty guy visit the mats and really fuck the mats up.
No.
After he's gone,
that's it.
It's gone. The dude who's there every day.
What do you think? What do you think happens if, like, Pence becomes like something happens to Trump and what if it's like they use this for him to be like
Pence is now the presidential candidate?
Yeah.
I don't think Pence can win.
You think right now that Mike Pence thinks this is like God, like God's racking the numbers in my favor. This is a sign from God. I'm meant to be president.
I've been praying every night.
He was like,
I've been telling Trump and all them, no masks, bro. We're better than this. And he's
just waiting.
He's been waiting.
He's like that meme, like that guy, like.
Dude. Just the gay killer. That's what he would be. The president.
I think
he just wants to be on the chariot as the gay killer.
He actually frightens me more than Trump because Trump's an idiot and just like doing whatever. He actually like has an agenda.
He has a bad agenda, and
it's like draconian. And
he has a bad agenda. Conversion therapy.
I don't want him to be president. No. So, fuck Pence.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely not.
I guess we'll see.
But I don't think Pence can win, man. I don't think Pence could win it. There's no way.
He's got God behind him, son.
Jesus is gonna put it down.
I guess we'll see in a week how it goes. That's like 8 days, 9 days.
Good fucking luck. Trump might have just gotten saved because there's no change.